up, guys? How's it going? Welcome back to my channel. Finally, somebody had a gut to say something on Candace Owens on her podcast, what she's been talking about since the Charlie Kirk assassination. All right, so let's get into it.
This is so Wang half, dude. Did you see that clip of Candace Owens? What did she say? What's the quote? I gotta pull it up. Who's got the clip? Dude, that was crazy. I didn't even think it was that hot though, at all. Candace Owens, crazy clip. What is it? Well, how could I even find this? If I just search Candace Owens. What's wrong with you, mom? That's what she says. Let's Candace Owens freak. Try that.
Get to ask those questions. You don't get to ask those questions. What's wrong with you, mom? Why are you so scared?
Ugh. Oh, man. People were saying that's hot. I don't think that's hot. I think it's just kind of... She's like pretending to be crazy. Real crazy would be hot. She's like pretending to be crazy, and she just comes across like retarded to me. Let's play it again.
You don't get to ask those questions. What's wrong with you, mom? Why are you so scared?
Oh, man. I've seen this like 100 times in the past few days. Oh, jeez.
Oh, I love his reaction. Oh my goodness. There's like his reaction is like so raw. Oh my gosh.
She's lost it, man. She is full-blown Looney Tunes. Does she even know what's going on anymore? One day it's the Israel, then it's the feds, then it's an inside job, then it's Dairy Queen, then it's the Society of Bee Worshippers, then it's Brigitte Macron. Like, bro, take your medication. That's crazy. She needs to get 5150'd. And I know that's like a sensitive subject because we're mutual friends of Ye. When you're crazy, sometimes that you just need the help,
You don't
right?
get to ask those questions. What's wrong with you, mom? Why are you so scared?
Like, you can see what she's going for. Like, she's trying to sound crazy. She's trying to imitate like a crazy person, but it's just, whatever this is, it's not working. Eesh.
You don't get to ask those questions.
What is that? You can see now George Farmer. You can see why he hit. George Farmer is facing a $500 billion defamation lawsuit from the French government. Crazy bitches will make you do stuff like that, I guess.
Wow, did he say George Farmer is facing a $5 billion lawsuit? Let's fact check that. I don't think so. Never heard that. George Farmer $5 billion lawsuit. Okay, so let's see if it's true. Or let's see. George Farmer $5 billion lawsuit. All right. As far as lawsuits, there is a couple, but it's not $5 billion. Okay. All right. Just want to fact check that. All right. Anyways, let's get back to the video.
What's wrong with you, mom? Why are you so scared?
Ugh. Oh, man. I don't know. I'm not a fan of all that. She seems retarded and crazy. That clip was just unhinged. I was disturbed. I actually feel sorry for her now.
Steve the Kid sent $20. If Netanyahu was the one that dropped the letter that supposedly exonerates Israel, why would your default position be to believe the authenticity of the letter? I'm not legitimizing Candace's claim either, but if NY Post drops the letter and Netanyahu backs it up, that would make anybody's eyebrows raise at the very least.
Yeah, it's all fake. All the evidence is fake. Everything's fake. We already went through that. Because why? If it was a fabrication, that would easily be proved. If Candace has the letter, she would produce it. If the letter was what she says what it is, she would produce it. And somebody else has it, so if they put out this phony letter, anyone could publish the real letter. I'm getting really sick of this, like, every piece of evidence that justifies the conspiracy is believable, and every piece of evidence that doesn't is not believable, automatically. The Bill Ackman text messages, the Tyler Robinson text messages, the gun, like, there are sources that say Tyler Robinson's DNA is on the roof because he cut his hand, because it's serrated, when he dropped down from the roof. People are going to say that is fake. But the trap door is real. But energy weapons are real. Like, in other words, people are more willing to believe that there are technologies we are not aware of, that humanity is not aware of, that were used in this assassination, then believe that Tyler Robinson's blood was actually found at the scene of the crime, or his fingerprints are on the gun, or that somehow his grandfather's gun wound up 100 feet from where Charlie Kirk was shot in the neck. If your instinct automatically is to say, oh, that actually rationalizes the official narrative, it must be fake, it necessarily raises eyebrows. Why does that necessarily raise eyebrows? What would automatically be suspect about this? Everyone confirms that Charlie Kirk wrote a letter to Netanyahu. It's a real letter. Netanyahu held it up. Why would Netanyahu hold up a letter that he knows is like motherfucking him? Does that even make sense? If Netanyahu goes on TV and says, my proof that Charlie loved Israel is this letter, and he knows and everyone knows the letter was like breaking with Israel, why would he even reveal the existence of such a letter? And moreover, Charlie Kirk was pro-Israel. Why is this eyebrow raising? He was pro-Israel. And this whole thing about messaging, he said that when he was alive in public. So, you know, if you're not willing to just go where the evidence leads, then I don't know what to tell you, man. I saw somebody say the other day, there's a Dairy Queen that got closed permanently in Utah. It wasn't even the one that Tyler Robinson went to. And some douchebag goes there and says, look, they're tearing down the Dairy Queen that Tyler Robinson was photographed in. It was the wrong Dairy Queen. And people posted, they said, that's not the right one. That's one from a different campus. It doesn't fit at all. It's just a wrong one. And he said, well, why would they tear down the wrong one? That was his reply. That's your brain on being a conspiratard. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, he was at the wrong restaurant, but in his mind, a Dairy Queen being permanently closed, he already made the assumption, oh, that's the one. They shut it down because they're covering it up. That's part of it. Even the evidence that it was the wrong one was not enough, because the first assumption is they tore this restaurant down because it's involved somehow. Just like with the private jet. It's like every activity that happened in the city has something to do with the crime. The private jet, a Dairy Queen that he didn't go to, a trap door next to where he was. Other than the actual evidence, like the Tyler Robinson's grandfather's gun. So how did the FBI get that exactly? If the FBI found this guy's grandfather's gun, and that's what it is, how did it get there? Did the FBI steal it and then put it there to frame this kid? Why? Why would they do that? Does that make more sense? And how did they get his DNA? The FBI came into his house and stole his fingerprints and put his fingerprints on his gun at the same time? And why? And he's a super intelligent kid. Okay, so if there's nothing wrong with him, then why would they make him the patsy? If he's not even known as liberal or known as gay for that matter, if he's not mentally ill or stupid, why would they pick a bright guy to be a patsy? Wouldn't a very intelligent guy be able to, like, defend himself? The conspiracy shit is really pissing me off because it just doesn't make any sense. And people are just, they're confident in their ignorance, confident, smug, brazen, and how.
Okay, guys, so I agree with him. This conspiracy thing around Charlie Kirk's assassination is just like went beyond the point that it doesn't even make sense anymore. And they don't even have like credible sources. So they just like, oh, what if this, that? Oh, why Fed is not releasing the receipts and evidence to the public? But the thing is, the trial is not over, right? And that guy, the shooter, he needs to go through the trial. There's going to be sentencing, right? So that's the time that evidence is going to be brought up to the judges and the court. I feel like it's so crazy that actually Candace Owens called out Turning Point to make a statement, to release all the stuff. Is so crazy. I feel like the conspiracies that she's throwing out there right now is actually going to affect the people's decisions. There's a jurors going to, decide the shooter's fate. There's also a speculation that Erica Kirk is not, questioning Candace Owens, or why she's asking Candace Owens to stop making these videos. If Turning Point or Erica Kirk publicly ask Candace Owens to stop making videos or stop creating all these conspiracy theories, I think Candace will just use it against them. Candace will just make everything worse. Because I remember that when the Bridget Macron thing was going on, that President Trump called her, quote, saying that Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, actually asked Trump to ask Candace to stop talking about his wife, right? And that could have been really like personal conversation, but Candace was choose to, say that on her platform, say that on publicly. I feel like that was kind of shady, but let's take a look at it.
So here's what happened. I'm negotiating this thing. I'm negotiating Ukraine and Russia, and you wouldn't believe how many parts are part. It is President Donald J. Trump. He is calling me, and in true President Trump fashion, he jumps right into the narrative. We're not, hey, how you doing? He just like jumps right into the narrative of exactly how this went down. I am literally, it is hard to catch my breath to comprehend that 4 days ago, I'm ending a series about Brigitte Macron, and now I'm speaking to the President of the United States, and the topic of conversation, no matter which way you want to slice it, it's about Macron's wife's penis. I mean, there's no other way to say it, right? Anyways, I have Macron. I like Macron. We're speaking at the White House, and I'm walking him to his car, and, he says to me, Mr. President, can I speak to you for a second? I say, of course you can speak to me about anything. What's going on? And Macron wants to have a little sidebar. And then Macron says to him, Mr. President, do you know Candace Owens? And I say, yes, of course I know Candace Owens. What's going on? And then continues his narrative, and he tells me that Emmanuel Macron is requesting to his face that I stop speaking about his wife.
All right, guys, so that was it for today, and it was so fun to watch Nick Fuentes' take on Candace Owens and her conspiracy theories and her videos that's getting millions of views. All right, so anyways, let me know what you guys think, and thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.